So today I have the privilege to check out a multi-room bookshelf speaker and entertainment speaker from AudioPro, and honestly this speaker fits many of your use cases. And these speakers are not fresh out of the oven from AudioPro, but I've always wanted to check them out. They retail for a handsome 2,699 Malaysia ringgit or about USD 600, so let's see if they are any good. So design wise, you can see that this speaker are a little bit huge and it doesn't even fit into my usual review table. These speakers are built as your typical bookshelf speakers, and I like how AudioPro gave this a very clean Scandinavian touch, and from a styling perspective I really like them, and the simple square look is just very awesome. So at the front here, AudioPro uses a cloth mesh, very Scandi looking, and the material are also really nice and soft. So they are acoustically transparent as well. So meaning having this mesh at the front of the speaker doesn't alter the sound signature of the speaker. At the bottom, you're going to get this nice AudioPro badge in a nice metal finish, and this mesh is held onto the speaker using super strong magnets, and if you place it close to the speaker, it will magnetically align the mesh without any effort. So this is better compared to those old day speaker where you have holes to align the mesh into it, which doesn't look as flattering. So when you remove the mesh, you're going to see this really stunning looking 4.5 inch long throw woofer at the bottom and that 1 inch textile dome tweeter at the top, which is also protected behind some grills. So there's also a tiny LED that hides behind the left speaker tweeter dome, and the color of the LED indicates the input that you are in. So green means it's an auxiliary input, blue means Bluetooth, red is optical, white is Wi-Fi, and purple is TV mode, which is HDMI. So speaking of which, the remote control that AudioPro gives you is made of a solid block of aluminum with brushed metal finish all around it and some foam padding at the back, so that it gives the control some grip, and this is pretty heavy and solid, and you can feel that it's made of pure quality. So on the back of the left speaker, this is where you're going to get most of your inputs from, and honestly just take a moment to just admire the look of this back panel here, because you get all of this brushed metal, this very nice base ports here, base reflex port, as well as the metal screws all around. It gives it a very robust and strong look overall. So starting from the top here, this is where you have a screw, so you can wall mount your speakers if that's your design of your entertainment system. So you can wall mount this, and here you're going to get a switch for full range as well as satellite. So if you're using this without a subwoofer, you can push it to full range, so the speaker itself will drive the low ends. If you switch it to satellite, it will only play the mids and highs, so the bass will be routed through to the subwoofer. And speaking of subwoofer, at the bottom here, you're going to get a subwoofer out. You're going to get an auxiliary port here, 3.5mm. You're going to get optical cable in, so if you have any digital inputs. This is where you put in your HDMI if you want to connect it to a TV. And here you have a button to toggle Wi-Fi connect. And below here, you're going to get simple speaker output to the right hand side, so you can just connect this using normal speaker wires. And here you're going to get an AC input port. So that's basically the back panel of the left device, and the back panel of the right device is pretty much empty. So in terms of the weight of the speaker, this speaker weighs in at 8.2 kilos, and that's just about 4 kilos per side, which is good because that heavy cabinet helps reflect sound better. So speaking of the features, the speaker really is very well spec'd for the price, and it's really well justified as well, especially compared to the price of the AudioPro P5 that we've just looked at recently. So for all your wireless connectivity, the speaker comes with a Qualcomm Bluetooth 5.0 with aptX LL, which is low latency, AAC, as well as SBC audio codec. So the speaker also comes with a 802.11 at 2.4 GHz for Wi-Fi connection. So this is a multi-room Wi-Fi speaker as well. So with that, you can play music anywhere in your home from anywhere in the world. So for wired connection, you're going to get a 3.5mm auxiliary port, optical input, HDMI ARC connection for you to connect it to your entertainment system. The audio format supported here for the A26 includes MP3, WMA, AAC, as well as FLAC files, and also Apple lossless. So this is also an active speaker for all your connectivity convenience. So if, let's say, you don't want to use this with complicated DACs and amps, and you simply want to run it without anything else, and you can definitely do that with the A26. This is a perfect setup if you want a clean looking environment without a lot of complications. This is the one to go for. So like many high-end satellite speakers, this is designed as satellite speakers, and that is its main job. So when using it as an entertainment system, this is still best to use it with a subwoofer. As a dedicated satellite speaker, the A26 sounds fantastically detailed and clear, and if you push it to satellite mode, the speaker solely focuses on the mids and highs, and the bass is channeled away since it expects a subwoofer. So the good thing about this is AudioPro thought it through, and not everyone wants a complex setup with a subwoofer, so you can push that to full range mode, and the A26 will also drive the bass through this speaker. So at lower volumes, the bass is not very deep, but when you go past the 50% mark, the speaker comes alive and starts thumping properly. But keep in mind that the bass here will not replace the need for a subwoofer. Clarity on this are fantastic, and for all the higher end products from AudioPro, they all sound very detailed, bright and clear. Vocals are forward and have a nice bright tone to it, making it very satisfying to listen to music with lots of vocal emphasis. Clarity here is also bright and sparkly, so you're gonna hear all the details with the cymbals and the crashes, which is all in all very good. So with the launch of aptX Adaptive, aptX low latency has been retired since, but it should still work pretty well. If you have a device that supports it, latency is going to be kept to a minimum. However, when you're using it with Wi-Fi, I detect a terrible delay, and I can't work out if it's my Wi-Fi issue or what, but I checked the Wi-Fi strength and it's 100%, and I'm personally running a 500 Mbps network, so I'm not too sure what caused the latency. So lastly, using this both for music and movie feels really solid and immersive, and if I ever get the chance to review the AudioPro subwoofer, I'm sure that this will be an absolute killer combo. Personally, if you're looking for a decent multi-room speaker that you can use as a speaker for your home theater or your home cinema, then this is a pretty good option. So that is it for this review. If you find this video helpful, smash that thumbs up button, share this video everywhere, and if you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.